morning to one and all, distinguished guests for the day, respected Director Ma'am, my colleagues, and my dearest students. I, Dr. Nishita Desai, take this absolute privilege to welcome you all to yet another exciting episode of Stories in Samvad, brought to you by Deccan Education Society's Institute of Management Development and Research. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Let me first tell you about what is Stories in Samvad. Have you ever heard a story and wondered what happened before the success really happened? Because we often meet people at the destination. We see the designations, we see the success, we see the awards, but we rarely see the doubts, the failures, the risk, the difficult decisions, and the moments that really shape these exceptional journeys. That is the very essence of Stories in Samvad at IMDR. At Stories in Samvad, we bring you students closer to this accomplished journeys in entrepreneurship, close enough to help you reflect when life throws similar questions to you. Because there couldn't be textbooks, flowcharts, theories that explain it all. Sometimes there are these stories to get inspired from. Today amongst us is there this exceptional story worth sharing. May I please request the technical team to first give us a sneak peek into the brand's journey with an AV. Thank you, everyone. With that, we are today fortunate to host an entrepreneurial storytelling session that speaks about how brands are built, perhaps a masterclass in making you and your product reach household, become a habit, and build a legacy that is forever to stay. With that, may I please request our guest for the day to join us on stage. Students, put your hands together for Mr. Deepak Sanghvi, whose entrepreneurial journey is closely associated with the growth of Nilons. With him, we have joining Mr. Sanskar Sanghvi, who represents the next generation and has carved his own path in the world of digital marketing and brand building. Bringing these two exceptional journeys together is our moderator for the day, Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj, a proud IMDR alumnus who today returns to his alma mater in a very different role. Students, let the stories begin and let the Samvad unfold. With that, I hand over the session to my co-host, Dr. Sonal Patil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nishita. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. A very warm welcome to this special edition of Stories and Samvad at IMDR. Let me also begin with yet another question. What can a small jar of pickle possibly tell us about entrepreneurship? At first glance, perhaps nothing, right? But look closer. Before the jar, there was a recipe. Before the recipe, there was a family. And perhaps before the pickle reached the jar, there was a simple topli. patiently preparing and maturing something that would eventually travel far beyond the kitchen. And then someone asked, what if this could reach not just one family, but millions? This question takes us to Nilons and to the man whose journey we're going to hear today, Mr. Deepak Sanghvi. It is my privilege to introduce Mr. Deepak Sanghvi, a polymer engineer by training and an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. He brings together technical expertise, management education, and nearly 3 decades of entrepreneurial experience. A man who took rupees 8 crore to more than rupees 500 crore, expanding from pickles into spices, sauces, ready-to-cook products, and much more. Mr. Sanghvi went on to create much more beyond just FMCG through entrepreneurship, investments to founding the gym chain Urbounds, serving as the investor judge in the Lion's Den on OTT platform, and today Bharat Brand Shala. So perhaps that jar was never just a jar, it was a beginning for a prominent business thought leader. And for him, विरासत मिली थी पर कहानी अपनी लिखनी थी. विरासत मिली थी पर कहानी अपनी लिखनी थी. एक छोटी सी शुरुआत थी मगर उड़ान बड़ी करनी थी. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Deepak Sanghvi. May I request Dr. Abhijit Shivne to kindly come forward and felicitate Deepak Sanghvi sir as a mark of our respect and appreciation. Every legacy eventually faces another question. Thank you, sir. Every legacy eventually faces another question. What happens when the next generation looks at the same legacy and sees it differently? The same family, the same roots, but a completely different world. And that brings us to our second story of Mr. Sanskar Sanghvi. Before business plans, before digital marketing, there was football. Our next speaker represented India at the U17 level as a goalkeeper, a position where you learn to read the game, react quickly, and always anticipate the next move. And perhaps that instinct stayed with him. Because when Sanskar Sanghvi entered business, he didn't simply follow the family path, he created a new one. He founded the Backbenchers Digital, which grew from an in-house marketing experiment for Nilons into a venture focused on digital storytelling and new age brand building. One generation built the brand, the next asked, how do we make that brand speak to today's consumer? And that is what makes his journey so intriguing. He is also a co-founder of Bharat Brand Shala, building ventures at the intersection of digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and brand storytelling. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanskar Sanghvi. May I request Dr. Suraj Kamble to kindly come forward and felicitate Mr. Sanskar Sanghvi as a mark of our appreciation. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And now we have something rather special on this stage. One legacy, 2 generations, 2 very different journeys. To bring these stories together, we need someone who can do more than just asking questions. We need someone who can connect the dots perfectly. And here we have our moderator today, who has a special connection with this institution, Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj. Mr. Nikhil is currently Associate Senior Vice President and Head of Customer Service at Bajaj General Insurance. He also mentors the corporate communications function, providing strategic direction across public relations, media engagement, and brand storytelling initiatives. With nearly 2 decades of experience in the general insurance industry, his professional journey has taken him across bank assurance, digital business, and corporate communications. But there is one detail that makes his presence here meaningful. Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj is an alumnus of IMDR. He once walked these corridors as a student. Today, he returns to help bring two remarkable journeys together. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our moderator for today's Stories and Samvad, Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj. May I request Dr. Sanmat Shetty to kindly come forward and felicitate Mr. Nikhil Bharadwaj, our moderator, for today's Stories and Samvad. Thank you, sir. So we began with something very simple, a jar of pickle, but it has already told us quite a story. A story of tradition, enterprise, legacy, and reinvention. From a family business to a rupees 500 plus crore enterprise. From the goalpost to the digital world. From one generation to the next. This is not merely a story of a business, it is a story of how the next chapter gets written. And perhaps the perfect thought to end this introduction is, कहानियाँ खत्म नहीं होती, कहानियाँ खत्म नहीं होती जब एक अध्याय पूरा होता है, असली कहानी तो तब शुरू होती है जब अगला अध्याय लिखा जाता है. And today we are here to hear that next chapter. With that, Nikhil sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to all of you here. It's great to be back doing Samvad again and with two lovely gentlemen here who are going to take us through the story. Today's conversation is a little different because it takes us across two generations, very, very different entrepreneurial stories. Great that you're sitting together because some of the questions are going to be directed at both of you. One story is about responsibility that came ahead of time. Okay, at an age where the person was blooming, focusing on education, was moved to an entrepreneurial journey. And the others begins on the football field. We have one right here behind us, where all of us played. So it's just amazing that, and I love the name Backbenchers because I resonate, and I'm sure many of us sitting here resonate with the name. I think what makes this fascinating is it's not just about business or entrepreneurship. It's also about reinvention, and we were just talking about UR Bounce as well, without stealing the thunder too much. But anyway, let's get to the secret pickle, pun intended, with you, sir. First, Deepak sir, at any point of time, losing a parent is never easy, and it must have been very tough. It changes your life in a permanent sort of way. At that time, to be given such a large business to handle and to have that responsibility on you, how did that feel? And just take us through that journey and how this all started.
Thank you, Nikhilji. And first of all, my apologies to everyone for keeping you waiting. I had another event before this and I got delayed by 10 minutes. So, in businesses, in family businesses, actually you learn business since childhood on the dining table. So my journey has been listening to my father, speaking to people, telling the story, what happened during the day to us, and बचपन से हम वो सीखते हैं. And I have multiple incidents where I have learned through those journeys. Incidentally, when I was back in Jalgaon after my engineering in Pune, my father said कि तुझे, I wrote GRE, I wrote GMAT, but he did not send me overseas. He said तू Jalgaon से MBA करेगा. And मेरे cabin में बैठ, सवेरे से शाम तक sit there, go to the college, and then once you're back, sit in the cabin, observe me whatever I'm doing. So just before I lost him, I was in his cabin for 9 months. So that was the privilege that I got, seeing my father and learning through that. And I guess those had important seeds that were sown in me to how to look at business.
Then the IIM Ahmedabad was 4 months of, I guess, the very, very different education that I went through. Meaning that shaped me quite a lot. Those 4 months changed me quite a lot. And then when you are in the Kurukshetra yourself, then you'll end up learning on the go. You have no other option but to take decisions. If they are wrong, correct them on the course. If they are right, build on them. So that has been the journey. But one thing was sure, if I say that, when I came in, I realized that very early, and again, that's the part of the family, not a 8 crore business would typically hire professionals, But my father hired professionals when we were 4 crore. So he had sales head, he had R&D head, and he had a vice president for the business when it was a 8 crore business. So for me, it was never difficult to say that I should hire people who are better than me and be a number 2 in the business. So I was able to do that in 2001 when I lost my father. By 2002, I said I need to get somebody better than me. And that was the journey when then by 2004, I got a professional CEO for the business. So, yeah.
But during this transition phase, or even till the time that, you know, you transitioned the company from a 4 crore to now almost 1,000 crore business it's today, what was the toughest decision you took? Because I think, you know, as students, some of these decisions from the outwardly look very simple. And I think we were just speaking, you said out of 100 businesses started, only about 2 to 3 succeed.
Right.
Now success is a sum total of decisions.
Right.
What for you was one of the toughest decisions you took during, say, your initials, you know, because that set the route or that set the tone for what you did later on?
I guess the largest decision that I took was getting the professional CEO. If somebody has seen my podcast, I speak about it very often that when I got Mr. Rajiv as the CEO, he came and said, I have 3 conditions. The first condition is that whenever there is a difference of opinion between you and me, my decision is final. So Deepak Sanghvi's decision is second, because typically that's what happens in family business. You get professionals, but you do not allow them to be professional. You keep the control in your hand. So he said, the final decision is mine whenever there's a difference of opinion. Second, I will be the face of the company, you will not be the face of the company. So he put himself as the face of the company. So nobody heard about me before 2021. Sonalji has worked at Nilons earlier. So he was the face of the company. And third, I got him, I was not able to afford his salary. He's an ex-leaver, ex-ITC. So I got him at a very competitive salary. So he said, I will, if you give me the professional freedom, I'll earn my salary myself. So अभी 8 करोड़ का कंपनी है, अगले 3 साल में कंपनी जहाँ तक पहुँचेगा, for every crore turnover, you will add 1 lakh rupees of salary, maximum 50 crores. So मतलब maximum 50 lakh. तो हम बोले 8 करोड़ का कंपनी है, 3 साल में कहाँ पहुँचेगा? I said, okay, that's a deal. We shook hand on that. And 8 to 22, 36, 56. So that has been the journey. So a company which was 8 crore over 42 years became a 56 crore in 45 years. So that's how he earned his pay package also. So agreeing to a pay package which I could not even see at the age of 24, 25, and saying, हाँ करना है. So those were tough decisions, but the decisions that I took, which changed the path.
Amazing. I mean, did you hear about the transition of the organization from 8 crores to, you know, to where it is today? I mean, it's really, really great to know that, you know, sometimes the bets, the punts, the instincts pay off in the right direction, right? I mean, you take the call, because I think many times I've seen family businesses tend to hold on to, you know, the family angle a little bit more than, you know, taking it professional. I think also now that, I mean, we saw it in the video as well, right? Nilons for me, growing up was pickles. And now the diversification is for everybody to see. We've seen it here. In fact, seeing one of your interviews where you're supplying to ice cream manufacturers as well, amongst others. So what was this that took that decision, that direction? Because as far as I know, you started with the, you know, providing lime and lime cordial. I think the sir must have started with that. To the journey that, you know, you moved to this. I know the company went through a lot of transition in the 60s. To then moving on to pickles, where, you know, you experimented with food at home. That's how pickles came out. How did the next wave of growth kind of, what pushed you towards new areas of development?
So till 2008, we were largely a pickle and tutti frutti company. Almost 92% of our business was pickle and tutti frutti, and that's the time we got our first investment in the company. We got a foreign investor, and that's the time we had a place to reflect कि हम अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाना है. So when we studied the Indian consumption that time, we found was that out of the 100 rupee an Indian consumer spends, 5 rupees is what they spend on what we call as meal accompaniment. खाने के साथ थाली में जो हम खाते हैं. 35 is what they spend in the cooking accompaniment. Kitchen में जो खाना बनाते समय लगता है. Another 30 is beverages. Another 30 is snacking. Beverages, tea, coffee, cold drink, juices. Snacking is chips, namkeen, biscuits, everything. So we were largely playing in that 5 rupee segment, which is meal accompaniment. तो अगर बड़ा करना है तो एक बड़े समुद्र में छलांग लगाना होगा. And beverages and snacking, the buyers are different and the outlets are different. You have more on the go, male would buy, younger generation would buy, but in the kitchen, which is a cooking accompaniment, is the same homemaker who's buying it. So we decided कि same दुकान पे बिकता है, same homemaker buy करता है, तो we moved to cooking accompaniments, and that's how one by one products started coming in.
Interesting. So again, for students here, if you see, it's always well planned. Having data is one thing, but acting upon it in the right way, breaking a meal down into units, breaking it down to the level of what is the market you want to play in and what are the area you want to expand in. Amazing, amazing insights. Now, obviously, we are here, obviously celebrating our leadership in a way. Now, as a leader, do you think leaders have all the answers, or do you think are leaders the one that ask the right questions, or is there just a different perspective that you have on this whole thing?
So leaders do not have all the answers, but leaders build team around them who are able to figure it out. So that's building a team around you who are able to figure it out. But leaders have something which is not common in all, is owning up the decision and owning up the responsibility. Even if the team fails and the decision fails, it's the leader who owns it up. That sometimes the team are fearful to take those decisions because ले लेंगे और गलत हो गया तो, and leader बोलता है कोई दिक्कत नहीं मैं हूँ ना. And that's the biggest job of the leader, that you say that I will take the blame on me. That's where what leadership gives that confidence to the team that. So there's a very powerful statement I use in Nilons almost every alternate day. Surf excel कहता है डाग अच्छे है. So it's okay if we fail, right? So it's okay we take these calls. So that's what we do. And so yeah, leaders do not have all the decisions, but they have the broader shoulders to take those responsibilities.
Thank you. I think, again, an amazing insight. Failure is not something to be ashamed of. Failure is something you take in your stride because it's the only way you succeed ahead. I think that's a great insight. Sanskar, we'll move on to you for the next round of questions. That's okay with you, sir. I think, Sanskar, before entrepreneurship, football was a large part of your life. I'm sure it is today as well. We've just finished the FIFA World Cup, and I'm sure you must have seen a large part of it. But I think sport and business has this amazing connection. What do you think that connection is for you, and how did that help you, move on to make and start your entrepreneurial journey?
I think football is probably one of the best decisions when it comes to building myself as a founder or as an entrepreneur as well. Because there are two types of sports, right? One is when you play it for fun and you like playing or you like trying to, enjoy the sport. And the second thing is when you're genuinely trying to compete or genuinely trying to do something that only the top 1% of the athletes could do probably or possibly. So, that at the age of 14 or 13, Dad just planted me in Norway. And then, we had this dream together that let's take forward football as a profession. Now, football as a profession is easy to say, or any sport as a profession, or any art as a profession is easy to say, but like once you compete with these 6'3", 6'4" tall Germans, and you're a 5'11" Indian goalkeeper, I think those 4 years or those 5 years really woke me up on, number one is somehow figuring a way out of, or somehow finding your own advantage into things. And a lot of analytical skills, a lot of ways in terms of mentally just adapting, reacting. And I think when I came back to India, the first thing I saw is that, the grit is next level compared to other people. So I got really happy knowing that. So
Nice. I think as a goalkeeper, your instincts and your agility is what sets you apart on the field, right?
Yeah.
And when you spoke about 6'3", I immediately saw Haaland in front of me, especially when you said Norway, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Now pivoting, what is the time that you decided यार football बहुत हो गया, अब कुछ खुद का करते हैं और देश वापस चलते हैं. So what was that कि हाँ चल enough, now let me do this.
So basically what happened was, I think 2022, 2023, I myself lost love for the sport as well. I mean, I personally didn't watch football being a footballer. And basically for 2-3 years, because there was a level at least that we were playing and we were really working hard to get to that dream. There was a push that, you know, there always comes a phase in someone's life where you have to just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. But 2025, I realized that, you know, I don't want to spend my life living in Germany just playing football, and especially because in goalkeeping specifically, it's not an excuse, but a height is a big matter that people look at, right? I mean, a small height in goal as a goalkeeper would be 6'1", 6'2". I mean, normal goalkeepers in Germany are 6'6", 6'7" as well. So I had to really make a realistic decision of either I play ISL or Indian national team, or I play in some tier 2 country. Otherwise, I play in a third or fourth league when it comes to professional football in the main countries or Europe, right? So I really wanted to be the best in what I could be, and I was really happy about what I got from Germany. I think couldn't really show the family or any stakeholders about how I could monetize that, but like, you know, once I came back, I tried proving myself there. But I think I was internally satisfied with what I wanted to get out of football in terms of building myself up as a human being. And as soon as I was happy about that, I think I called Dad that I want to leave Germany. In the next 24 hours, we were ready. It was all, bags were packed, and then we came back for good, one-way flight.
Nice. Now, I love that part that you said that, you know, you're very clear that one day you just, you know, I love the clarity that your generation has. One day I just lost the love for the sport, and that's awesome. It's okay to say that a path that I took once is no longer a path I want to follow. Because all of us tend to hesitate. Yaar, abhi ek baar kar liya hai, so let me follow it. Always know there's always room to do something new, so always room to do something innovative. I think starting from scratch, especially students, you know, there's this whole paranoia. Ki yaar, how will I start from scratch? For you, it was obviously getting into something, although it was not from scratch from a family perspective. For you, it was something very new. So how did you adapt, or how did you get to, obviously running the nuts and bolts of what you started off with?
So basically, I mean, it was not an easy decision. I mean, it was 3 years of battling if I should give up or not give up. I mean, there is also a mentality that comes, you know, you see all these Instagram reels, it's like never give up, never give up, never give up. So it took me 3 years to decide that, okay, let's give up. So once I came back though, I mean, it was never easy starting from scratch. I mean, coming from a second generation perspective also, it's that in a family business, you never get there. You have to always work your way up, right? And you also have to learn, and it is another 4-5 years journey or more minimum to, you know, actually build it there, because it's not only my stakeholders are also the team members of Nilons who are working for Nilons, right? It's not just that it's Dad, but I guess because it was football and I'm a goalkeeper and it's a 90-minute game, I was never seeing a 5-10 year play. So, you know, with learning from Nilons, we had decided that let's I didn't even do my college back then, still haven't, but basically we had decided, why don't we practically learn, and why don't we do courses of, like, why shouldn't I intern 3 months at marketing, sales, etc. So I went to intern at a marketing agency that was handling Nilons, but decided that, you know, I didn't like the approach that they were doing in marketing, decided let's let go of them, decided to start Nilons' marketing. And then from there, I mean, just figured it out, and I was really excited when I saw that, okay, this is a gap for a lot of legacy businesses, that they don't get marketing right. So I was more than excited to jump to the opportunity, let's start something again from myself. And then that's how Backbenches Digital had started. I mean, so there was never a roadmap, but there was definitely a fear about how do you start from scratch, because the 6-7 years that I've spent building my art in that sport, it felt like, you know, I'm starting from nothing with no skill set at all. So that was a scary moment, but, you know, after 3-4 months of horror, I think I got so excited when I found out that, all right, maybe I can start my own skit here as well.
That's really, really nice to hear. I think also sometimes when you're a part of the family business, there might be resistance to start something independent. But how did you get over that resistance? How do you convince Dad, I think I need to do this? Of course, you've scaled it into a large business. I mean, you also talk about that as to what you did in terms of achievements, in terms of the social media outputs, in terms of the videos, and also the fact that you were able to get new clients like Priya Gold in your portfolio, right? I mean, that's impressive at that age. So how did you get over the resistance of independence, and how did you build that brand from scratch?
No, I mean, dad sending me to Germany at 13, 14 is he's more than happy to keep me independent like that. So it wasn't very hard to convince dad. Only thing was that only thing I think starting backbenchers, right? Backbenchers is his suggestion, by the way, the name and everything. But it started with a thought that let's let go of the marketing agency and let's try ourselves. Of course, he's very open-minded, but I also just had to give a strategy or an approach towards where it would convince him also that let's try this approach instead. But I think I've been the luckiest thing I have had right now is an extremely open-minded father. So yeah.
Awesome. Deepak, sir, back to you. And we were just talking about UR Bounce. Now there is pickles, there's tutti frutti, there's pasta, there's sauce, there's Szechuan sauce. I'm trying to remember all the names here, so sorry. And then there is gym. So UR Bounce, I'm sure you all must have seen on FC Road. That's his, by the way, and he's well on the way to making 52 gyms as we speak. But how did you move to that journey of gym and community building? Fitness is a completely different ball. I mean, the first thing I go to a doctor, he says, "Pehle achar band karo." यहाँ achar वाले ही gym शुरू कर रहे हैं. What was the story behind that is something we wanted to understand.
So I guess ideas never come out fully formed. So Urbounce was also, I had a personal trainer who used to train me at home, and then those 60 more minutes that you spend with your personal trainer, and he has the ability to influence your mind. So I'm an influenced gym businessman. But once I was in it, being a businessman, then I was able to see how we can do things differently. And I guess 90% of the gyms in India are in losses. They do not make money because the average retention in the gym is only 30%. And the only way to make money is to retain, and the only way to retain is to increase attendance. And the only way to increase attendance is to track the attendance data and take action on it. So it's actually not a so any business is a data business today, right? So we move to the data business. We work with a 55% retention against the industry of 30%. And but ultimately, I guess in the early days also, and that's my habit, that how do you build a purpose around the business? So for me, it was that, we have only 4 happiness hormones that the body releases, and the oxytocin, the serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine. And endorphins is the happiness hormone that body releases when it breaks, the muscles breaks, it pushes itself beyond limit. So the thought that I am not a gym person, I am somebody who's adding the happiness quotient to the world, was something that was very powerful to me. And hence Urbounce ka tagline was workout happiness, and hence attendance became an important thing. So it's a very exciting business because food is a happiness that you get when you eat, but when you actually exercise, you are happy for the next 24 hours. So you actually feel that you are adding to the overall community, you are adding to the overall universe. So, but the idea was not fully, it's a failed gym. 2014 में डाला, 2021 तक लॉस में था, घर से पैसे डाले जा रहे थे. नेवर गिव अप वाला रील मैं भी देखा. So then we figured it out कि क्या करने से होगा. And I guess that's the part of an entrepreneur, जो क्या करने से होगा वो सोचता रहता है और कहीं ना कहीं figure out कर लेता है. And now we are doing better.
Awesome. But you know, a gym is also about building communities, right? I mean, because like you said, and you've reversed the narrative, because gym typically people say ki yaar, we want maximum membership but lowest attendance, because that's how you get people to the gym, and you know, you keep kind of getting there. So you took the narrative and you put it on its head. But how did you build the community? And whilst building the community, I'm sure there are a lot of interesting stories and insights about human behavior, especially when it comes to, say, the fitness community. Because as somebody looking to reverse the narrative, I'm sure you must have studied it, and data is everywhere, like you said. How?
See, community, first of all, we as humans, we are social beings, right? So typically आप gym में जाएंगे तो most of the gym में treadmill पीछे के तरफ होती है, बाहर देखने के लिए. आप रोड को देख रहे हो, गार्डन को देख रहे हो. हम लोग ने जिम बनाया तो हमने ट्रेडमिल सीधी तरफ अंदर के तरफ रखी कि आप अंदर मेंबर्स को देखोगे. तो यू हैव टू लुक इनसाइड. तो कम्युनिटी का फर्स्ट स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ये है कि यू आर लुकिंग आउटसाइड, बीइंग इंडिविजुअल. vis-a-vis you turn the treadmill and you see you looking at the other peoples in the gym, right? You are seeing other activities that are happening in the gym. So small things, but simple things. Then having a lot of group classes, lot of events, lot of things that you do together. That's the function of the community. And so when we started initially, we started with the first few years was tracksuit parties. So people who wanted to go to parties, so it was Friday night, everybody comes in a tracksuit, everybody gets a shot, but that's not a tequila shot, it's a healthy shot. So you created the entire vibe into the gym, which is about exercising is fun and exercising is a community thing. And over a period, then that started to become that gym is, for many people who are regular, it's a second home. They do not want to go back home. They want to spend 2 hours, 3 hours there. So that's what we were able to create. The oldest Urbounce gym has 1,700 members now. Average attendance daily is 450 people. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Now I think let's move on to the next section where I will ask a question and I basically want both of you to react or respond to it. You may debate or you may agree. I mean, I leave that to you. Typically, me and my father have a debate on most things, but let's put it to rest today. I think, what is it that both of you genuinely disagree on when it comes to business? Because both of you have built different types of business, different genres of business at different stages in your life. So what is it where you think that nahi, main nahi agree karta aapse, and this is what I'm going to do? Maybe we'll start with you, Sanskar.
Dad, you can start.
So we largely don't disagree. I have a concept which I've been spreading to the world, that there are 3 gods who run the world as per the Hindu religion: Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, which is the creator, the operator, and the challenger of status quo. Not a destroyer, but he does not destroy everything. He destroys what is irrelevant. So challenger of the status quo. And that has become my habit, to look at every person in 10 minutes interaction and say कि ये ब्रह्मा है, कि ये विष्णु है, कि ये महेश है, right? So I realize that I am a 7 on 10 Brahma, I am a hardcore creator, and a 3 on 10 Vishnu. I have 0 Mahesh in me. Sanskar has a significant amount of Vishnu in him. Where I disagree with him is, I know that he's very strong strategically. He is very strong in terms of getting things executed. He can understand things better. But कुछ चीज़ें जहाँ पे इसके areas की core competency नहीं है, उस area पे then we'll sit in the evening and we will speak about those. Being an athlete, he's very aggressive, right? So demanding as a leader is a great stuff to have, right? Because the football gets the demanding. But again, as a footballer, you do not, as a goalkeeper especially, you do not play against 11. You play against 21. यू प्ले अगेंस्ट योर टीम ऑल्सो. अगर आपने एक गोल लूज कर दिया, आपकी टीम आपके ऊपर चढ़ गई, तो आपका पूरा मोटिवेशन खत्म हो जाएगा. तो आपको अपने टीम को भी दबाना है. सो दैट फुटबॉल मेक हिम डिमांडिंग प्लस स्लाइटली मोर aggressive on a higher side, because that's what it called for. So once you come to the business, that extra aggression has to be left. So that's the area that we work on, that demanding is good, but not beyond a point. So these are the areas that we work on.
I just love Dad, so whatever he says, I listen to him.
Okay, we will take a different question there. So say, suppose, I don't know, hypothetically, if you all switch roles tomorrow, and you were handling Nilons in its entirety, and you were handling the marketing agency, what would you do? And I don't know, how would you do it differently? I know it might sound like a case study here, but we're trying to put it out there.
I'm scared to answer this question. No, basically, I think maybe what I would do in Nilons is learn from the learnings that Dad has already got, like a case study, so that don't stop marketing, just keep on going as a front-end brand as well. Focus on 4 focus categories, etc. I mean, I would literally start, Dad has answered his own questions near me about what we could have done better over the years as well. So if I had the opportunity to be in a position to handle Nilons, maybe it would just be leveraging my aggression in terms of, focusing it on the focus points that would probably help the company grow. But it's a huge organization, so it's really hard to comment on exactly what I would do.
Fair.
So for me, I would bring structure in
Method to the madness.
the method to the madness. I believe that chaos helps initially, but then the creation can only happen in chaos. Brahma, the creators can only work in chaos. They do not work structured. But once you have built a business, then you need to get structure. You cannot run in chaos always. So that's the difference I would want to bring there. I guess as one of the leadership skill, one of the strongest skills a leader should have is demanding. He brings a lot of demanding skills in his personality, which I do not have. So maybe what he brings to Nilons is that demand can create a more faster version of Nilons.
And just as a take from both of you, as the country moves ahead, as India is growing, where do you see Nilons as a brand evolving for you? And for you, obviously, where do you see marketing as a field going? And you know, your agency obviously being an integral part of it, how do you take that journey going forth? So just the India journey and how you think both your respective businesses, if I may call it that, will shape up in a different way than they are today, contextually. So Deepak, so you first, sir.
So typically, I guess there are two things that are going to shape the future. One is marketing, because you get an opportunity to set a narrative in the mind of the consumer, and that's the area that I would want to keep working on. Because you being a product company, vis-a-vis you being a brand that people follow by religion, there's a lot of difference. And I guess we are still a product company, and what we would want to do is move from a product company to being a brand as a religion. And second is use of tech. Tech can help you grow significantly faster and take significantly more righter decisions. These are the two. If I want to spend my next 7-8 years, I would largely want to spend and see how I can integrate lot of tech in the business, and how can I go more deeper into marketing from building a product into a brand company. For you?
I mean, to answer your question, two things in marketing, I would only focus on efficient distribution, because if you see marketing, the demand's only going to 10x, 100x, or 1000x, but with the demand, the prices also of, let's say, content creators or influencers or other distribution models will also really go up. So creating your own brand assets for as many clients as you have, and creating or selling the idea of having brand assets is the way to go, the way to win in marketing. We are also doing another, just talking about how we want to see how we can impact the future of India. We have Bharat Brandshala, the project that me and Dad have co-founded together. So basically the whole idea there is how can we create a 10,000 crore dent in the Indian economy? How can we be a value adder of 10,000 plus crores by creating 100 brands that can scale up to 100 plus crores? I think Kunal Shah is the name of the gentleman who said Indicons? Indicons. So there's an amazing thing that he said that related to us was that India doesn't need unicorns, it needs more Indicons as well, which is 100 crore profitable companies. So we are on our own path of creating 100 such brands. I mean, 100 crores, 100 brands is just a hook or a tagline, but some will reach much more higher, and it makes a huge dent to the economy. So that's what we are directly trying to do. And we started this 3-4 months ago, but the growth has been very significant, and we intend to really, create a whole legacy out of this as well.
Nice. Indicons, new terminology for us to hold on to. Kunal Shah, who's now the CEO of Meta. Yeah, Meta WhatsApp. So one for the books, guys. But I think one question that, I've always wanted to ask is on mistakes, because all of us know the successes, but very seldom. So like you said that, 3 out of 100 startups succeed. We get to see the success stories, but we don't get to see some of the mistakes. And you said failures are good, but which according to you was a mistake which you would want to talk about, which you think obviously that, it was something that helped you learn and shaped you, but also the fact that it wasn't really a mistake at that time, but genuinely admitting that it was.
So I actually believe, Nikhilji, that I am a masterclass of what not to do. I can actually write 10 pages of what to do and 100 of what not to do. Because Papa nahi the, so I figured it out myself and kept doing most of the things. But what I have realized, if I want to go to the root of the mistake, is as humans, something that we fundamentally believe as Deepak Sanghvi and in Bharat Brandshala in Nilons is, व्यापार बनता है व्यवहार से, व्यवहार बनता है व्यक्ति से, और व्यक्ति बनता है उसके विश्वास से, उसके बिलीफ सिस्टम से. तो व्यापार को अगर बदलना है तो व्यापार और व्यवहार नहीं, व्यक्ति और उसके विश्वास पे काम करने की ज़रूरत है. Right? So all of us sitting in this room have our own belief system that has been shaped the way we have been grown up, in the ecosystem that we have grown up. And our success के भी जो मंत्रा है वो वही 4 बिलीफ, किसी एक व्यक्ति में 4-5 से ज़्यादा फंडामेंटल बिलीफ सिस्टम्स नहीं होते. उसके सक्सेस भी वही 4-5 बिलीफ सिस्टम से आते हैं, उसके फेलियर भी वही 4-5 बिलीफ सिस्टम से ही आते हैं. और अगर हम समझ जाए तो माई मोस्ट ऑफ द बिलीफ सिस्टम, मेरे फेलियर्स के अगर मैं रूट देखूंगा तो वही 4-5 बिलीफ सिस्टम्स है. एंड डूइंग थिंग्स एट स्केल ने मुझे सक्सेस भी दिया, बट जब बड़े लेवल पे पहुंच के भी हमने कुछ नया एट स्केल्स किया, जब फेल हुआ तो कंपनी को 4 साल पीछे भी ले गया. तो जब 8 करोड़ का था, डूइंग समथिंग एट स्केल वाज ओके, देयर वाज ओनली 8 करोड़ टू लूज. बट 300 करोड़ पे व्हेन यू डिड समथिंग एट स्केल, देयर वाज 100 करोड़ टू लूज, राइट? So that is what is the belief system that has hurt me. So realizing that, as I say that I am a Brahma, so understanding that I am a creator, तो 8 out of the 10 entrepreneurs that we test are Brahmas. They are creator, and creator ही create कर पाता है. बट क्रिएटर का सबसे बड़ा खुजली होता है, उसको कंटिन्यूसली क्रिएट करने का मन होता है, राइट? एंड हेंस होल्डिंग बैक योर क्रिएटर एंड अलाउइंग द ऑपरेटर टू वर्क, बिकॉज यू बिलीव कि ये आइडिया अमेजिंग इन योर रूम, बट उसको जाके एग्जीक्यूट आपकी टीम को करना है, और वो एग्जीक्यूशन में ही रियल जो है ताकत लगने वाली है. जब तक वो एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है, आप 15 दिन में तो एक नई आइडिया लेके आ जा रहे हो, फिर वो एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है, आप 2 महीने में एक नया कंसेप्ट लेके आ जा रहे हो. टीम बोलती है बॉस को खेलने में मज़ा आता है, खिलौने है उसके पास. तो that's how it starts to happen. So my belief system of being a creator, I have consciously started to hold myself back, because I believe that has hurt Nilon's growth or anything. So fundamental doing things at scale, fundamental as being a creator and being in a constant state of creation has been some of the root causes of my failure, which I'm now working on. Right, so those are the belief systems that I realize about myself. Not being assertive. So I say he's a demanding person. I am not at all a demanding person. I am not an assertive person. So I did not assert myself in the places where I should have asserted. So I realized that, and now I am in last. So I did this emotional test, which I said, and he said you are a demanding person. उसमें that emotion आया. So I guess that's the 18 months work that I have been doing on myself, that I need to be demanding, I need to be demanding, I need to be demanding. So that's the belief system that you consciously work on, that has held you back in your life.
Fair. I mean, just a follow-up question on that. You started your business at the age of 22, 24. That's a very young age. Yeah. I mean, and especially in an established company where most people working there were elder to you, and that's a dynamic that some of y'all are going to face as well. How did that, or speaking to a 24-year-old self, what would you do differently, say today, if you were to begin that journey and say reverse you back in time? What is it that, what is the advice that you'd give to these youngsters as to what to do?
See, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever we say, when I was there, I did not have, so I did not have my papa. My बड़े पापा was there in the business and he was a farmer always. So उन्होंने 12 महीना देखा, ठीक है दीपक तू सीख गया, I am going back to my farm, तू संभाल. So I did not have somebody to stop me. But in a legacy business, that's one of the fundamental challenge कि पेरेंट्स से छूटता नहीं है, क्योंकि उनको लगता है बच्चे कुछ गलती कर देंगे. हमने 100 गलती कर से बचा के धंधे को यहाँ तक लाया है. And the next generation is so full of energy that they will take certain calls which might go wrong. So if I would go back at 24, I do not regret what I did. I got a better person than me. I gave him the freedom. But if you say one regret is, every person has certain skill sets which, if they do not work on themselves, they are not able to grow it beyond a point. So when the stagnation came in Nilons, getting that assertiveness to change the guard of leadership did not happen at the right time. And we did not change the guard of leadership for say 6-7 years, which was one of the regret I would have changed. But otherwise, for the children sitting here who are part of the family business, might enter the family business, don't go and want to change everything on day one, right? That's the, find your niche. And so when Sanskar came in Nilons and he was going through the internship of Nilons, he came and said कि dad हम लोग marketing आज के ज़माने का नहीं कर रहे, let me do this. And he stuck to marketing for the next 12 months. He did not move to any other areas. So one area he is doing, and I know that's my weakest area. यहाँ पे खराब होने से भी और क्या हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा कुछ कर भी नहीं रहे. Let him do it, and once he proved his mettle, then we know that he can do more, right? So when as the younger generation they go to the business, they believe कि सब कुछ ही खराब चल रहा है. And इसलिए वो सारा सब कुछ चेंज करने की कोशिश करते हैं, and that's where the conflicts happen. Find your core area where the downside is not very large. Prove your mettle, show to their family that you can make an impact which is larger, and automatically they will give you more space. That's what my learning is.
So I think don't try and mend something that's not broken. look at improvement areas and kind of work on it is my takeaway out of it. But now, Sanskar, moving to you, and of course, follow-up question. You said that हम marketing पुराने ज़माने का कर रहे हैं. So, what is it that you kind of took upon yourself, and what are the areas you worked upon? See, because it's marketing, everybody feels is a very fancy thing, It's a lot about numbers, metrics, and engagement, and reaching out, and all of that. How did you begin that journey? And if I may ask you, where are you in that journey till now, or where have you incrementally grown as a person and as a brand?
So I think पुराने ज़माने का से ज़्यादा I thought that we are just doing bad marketing in terms of क्या होता है normally when it comes to not only us, it's actually the most common case out of each and every legacy brand there is, or any brand there is, that mostly what happens is when you outsource to an agency or a third party, right, they have their own shop that they are setting up and they have their own approach to things, but everything in the end comes down to दिखेगा तो बिकेगा, right? It all comes down to how many people are watching it and how you're funneling it down also in a way, right? Now, either you funnel it down directly through sales, or you funnel it down through an emotion where someone is now knowing the brand or connected with the brand. There are many ways of funneling it down. So I definitely thought that, if I genuinely didn't get why agencies and companies were happy to agree with agencies giving them 12 posts a month at 5, 6 lakhs, 7 lakh retainers, and I had no idea why. And a lot of, if you see a lot of brands, I won't say any brands, but it's all these TikTok trends and these new age trends, which no one gets because आपका माल तो किराना स्टोर में बिकता है, right? In a way. So that's where, that was my mind, or that was what was eating up my mind in the start, in the beginning. So we decided to really create a much more diverse portfolio to start with. So not only content creation in terms of the main page, of course we shifted to content creation because no statistics can explain an emotion of a brand, right? It's all about content creation. Apart from that, we decided that, why don't we start something called Pyar Ki Rasoi, which Shivan Shirule, one of my team members, did. Basically what he did was he found many nano influencers. We reached out to them, we gave them Nilon's products, Nilon's hampers, and they started making videos for us. But what happened, it started compounding from there to a level where people are buying Nilon's products just to make videos for us right now. We touch around 20-30 million views a month without spending a single rupee on giving them a fee or anything. It's only a prize when someone wins, right? And apart from that, we started founder-led marketing. We decided that, the pickle category as of now is much smaller. The organized version, the unorganized is much bigger. So it doesn't make sense hiring an actor to, really do something. So why don't, no one talks about the brand or the company more than the founder. So we started Value Entertainment, right, where we got Dad to talk about, give value, give his gyan to the world. And that really blew up, and a lot of people know Nilon's. A lot of people knew, as you said, that Tutti Frutti, we have a huge section called Tutti Frutti as well. A lot of people got to know about our brand through that. So we decided, why don't we create a diverse marketing portfolio for each and every brand that we want to work with, because it's only showing it one way at a limited capacity never works, because then how is marketing efficient or ever going to be efficient as well? So we are still in the path to do that for a lot of people. Because I'm an agency, I have my own restrictions too, which I learned after starting my own stunt. But we try to always focus on getting quality brands and giving a diverse marketing approach towards them. And I am in a good roadmap right now, but it's only about doubling down on each and every vertical. So it's going pretty well, but so much more to do.
Nice, good to know. And good to know that those organic metrics are really looking nice, from a marketer's point of view. Deepak sir, I think this is something that entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial CEOs get asked a lot. Amongst these three, over a 40-year-old career that you have now, almost a 40, I'm not trying to say you're old or anything, don't get me wrong there, but between talent, discipline and character, three very essential traits which I think any startup founder, any manager or any people leader should have. Which according to you is the most important, and why do you think so?
Starts with character, attitude, goes to discipline, then goes to talent. I have been using this, Mr. Velumani, who's the owner of Thyrocare, he has been saying this, that he hired 25,000 freshers all his life. He never hired somebody who was already had an experience. And he said the first thing that I have looked at people in the first month itself was stamina. Stamina का root जो है वो भूख है. अगर आदमी के अंदर भूख नहीं है तो वो थक जाएगा, काम नहीं करेगा. जिसके अंदर भूख है वो शाम को 8 बजे भी मार्केट में रास्ता ढूंढेगा, रास्ता लेके आएगा, right? So stamina is the fundamental. Stamina, भूख, attitude, जो भी बोल दीजिए आपको जीवन में success के लिए जो चाहिए. Followed by discipline, because when you want to grow the organization, you will have to have lot of disciplined, repeatable execution. People who are not disciplined, they will do lot of random things. So that's the third thing, and then he says the third is the intelligence, and fourth is the focus, and I guess that's the fundamental thing. Attitude, stamina, character, followed by discipline. And character and discipline, stamina, ये चीज़ आप बचपन से सीख के आते हो, आपके संस्कारों से लेके आते हो. इंटेलिजेंस तो फिर भी सिखाया जा सकता है, लेकिन बाकी दोनों चीज़ को सिखाने के लिए मिलिट्री में लोगों को पनिशमेंट दी जाती है डिसिप्लिन सिखाने के लिए, राइट? तो यू हैव टू बिल्ड डिसिप्लिन इन पीपल, यू हैव टू बिल्ड अ कैरेक्टर इन पीपल. तो जिनके अंदर पहले से है, that's more important to get.
Also, very, very well put. I think discipline and attitude does not cost anything, right? Rest of it might. So always remember that as a takeaway. Moving to the last section, if I can, ma'am, before we get to the Q&A, it's a quick rapid fire for the both of you. And Sanskar, I'll start with you. Short answers, obviously rapid fire. Football team or startup team?
Startup team.
Building a brand or building a community?
Building a community.
Awesome. AI or human creativity?
Human creativity.
Always. One thing your father's generation always gets right.
Stamina, discipline.
You are the hack for the answer immediately available. Quality you admire the most in your generation?
People just know so many things somehow.
One thing your generation needs to learn and fast.
Stamina and discipline.
Well put. Okay, moving on to Deepak sir, with your permission, Sanskar. So scale or stability?
Scale.
Instinct or data?
Data.
One trait that Gen Z gets right?
Fearlessness.
Very good, very well put. Quality that you admire in Sanskar, if I may ask you that?
His demanding approach. I love it. He can get things out of everybody.
One word for entrepreneurship?
Figuring it out.
Nice, very well put. With that amazing note, we come to the end of my section. And now I would strongly urge students to take this over and ask your questions. Please, one by one, please just put up your hand and we'll have the mic sent to you. Over to you folks. And of course, be specific about who you want to ask it to or to both of them. Yes, gentleman at the back.
Hello everyone, myself Aditya. So my question is particularly to Deepak sir. So my question is that, see, like when we want to start our business, like for example, we have started working on our economic subject. So we talk about like limited or scarce resources, and then we are having different wants. So my question would be that, like when we are having limited amount of resources, as like you joined your business like while it was at a particular scale of 8 CR, and now it has grown a lot. So my question would be that, like when we are not having that kind of a scale, when we are not having those kind of resources, so like what can be done when you are starting from the scratch? So like what should we do?
See, resources are never scarce. There is, in today's world, money is infinite. I'm speaking about 2001 and 2026. What a difference I see is money is infinite. You need to have an idea which is working in terms of execution. So if you have a good idea or a concept or a product and you have executed it and you have shown that in 1, 2, 3, 4 execution I can deliver a consistent approach, then scalability के लिए पैसा आपके पीछे आएगा. But most of the time people say कि पैसा आएगा तब मैं कर पाऊँगा. Even 5 साल 10 साल पहले की भी आप most of the biggest success stories देख लीजिए, they are all 5,000 रुपए and 550 रुपए का 500 स्क्वायर फीट का रूम और 5,000 रुपए. Biggest success stories पैसे से स्टार्ट ही नहीं हुई है, वो इसी अप्रोच से आए कि हम कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा करके दिखाते हैं, पैसा अपने आप आता है. सो या रिसोर्सेज आर नेवर स्केर्स, पुट दैट थॉट अवे. एग्जीक्यूशन करके दिखाओ, पैसा अपने आप आता है.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
थैंक यू.
Moving on.
Good morning, sir. My question is to both of you that how AI is being integrated in your field, because as we see that AI is everywhere, every company is making use of AI. How you are using AI?
So, what we are using AI is for helping us make more right decisions, where we have a lot of data sets available, and helping the AI to understand from those data sets of what are the right actions we should take. Not automizing the work, but helping to sift through the data and look at actionables. That's one thing. The second thing that we are trying to do is, say in Bharat Branchshala, when we are trying to do, so when we work with our entrepreneurs whom we are building 100 companies, 100 crores, हम बोलते हैं कि ये बंदा ऐसी कंपनी बनाना चाह रहा है जो गारमेंट्स में है, अभी 3-4-5 करोड़ की कंपनी है, 500 करोड़ की बनानी है. What are the probable paths that the people have taken in the past, and what are the probable paths we can choose from, and then we feed those things and the AI gives us case studies की एक मान्यवर का भी एक तरीका है, कोई एक एक्सपोर्ट्स के भी कोई तरीका है, कोई बुटीक का भी तरीका है, कोई आउटलेट का भी तरीका है, कोई ऑनलाइन का भी तरीका है. These are the 15 different paths, and then we then which we are not aware कि ये सारे paths भी हो सकते हैं, and then we work with the entrepreneur and say, okay, what is the path we are going to choose, right? A lot of calculator, a lot of simulators that we are generating, जो otherwise हम manually नहीं कर सकते थे. AI is giving those lovely calculators and simulators which are helping us to look at the future, putting certain assumptions today on those simulators. So these are the areas where we are looking as AI application. Again, all to help us make more right and correct decisions.
AI is scary good, by the way. As a startup, I mean, it has got into complete operations as well. I mean, in a way, if I don't think, coming from a marketing agency perspective also, I shouldn't be, I mean, technically I shouldn't have a team of more than 4 or 5 people in the next 1 year in the speed that AI is increasing. I mean, they are editing all the videos, we don't need, it is crazy, it is scary, but it's really good for a founder, it's scary. I mean, we genuinely, it's now literally replaceable to humans. I mean, we have genuinely seen that practically. We have also implemented it in a small scale, but I don't think an agency or any business like mine in the next 2 years will have more than 3 or 4 employees.
That's scary. Thank you.
I think AI can help you build a one-person unicorn now. So,
Fantastic session, sir. Good afternoon. I'm a professor in marketing, and they very popularly say that what's there in a name? And I'm pretty sure entrepreneurship is very fancy, and it starts with a fancy brand name. I'm curious to know what's the story behind choosing the name Nilons, if at all it is. Yeah.
There is no fancy into it. My real sister, my bade papa's eldest daughter, her name is Naina, and she was born as a soft and silky, so उनका घर का नाम nylon है, because nylon cloth की तरह है, because that's the time the nylon cloth was being smuggled in India from outside, तो उनका घर का नाम nylon है. So my आज भी हम nylon बहन, nylon दीदी बोलते हैं. तो my father just moved the Y and put an I there. In 1962 किसने सोचा नहीं था कि it would travel so much, but yeah, so it's her nickname is Nylon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
ma'am in the front here.
Hello sir, good afternoon. My name is Shubham Gawat. Sir, my question to you is, in today's world, how the consumers are behaving, their patterns are behaving, so are actually constantly changing. So in today's world, as you also navigated from FMCG to a healthcare sector, like the Gen Zs are more prone to the healthcare sector, so how do you, can you give me advice regarding how the consumer behavior is shifting and how we can be able to make more products that are making India more healthy and more sustainable in the long run? Thank you.
Sure. See, health is though we are speaking a lot about health today, but health has always been a trend even 50 years back. People, उस समय उनको जो health relevant लगता था, people were getting those healthy things. So health has always been an important focus of a person's life. The trends will keep changing. Today the trend is fiber, maybe हम लोग तो अचार को health बोलते हैं because it's a pre and a probiotic. It's an Indian way of actually activating the Jatragni into a person, जो खाने के digestive juices को create करती है. So But the only suggestion is whatever trend do you choose, stick to that trend and build and scale. What happens most of the time is if you keep changing, just a protein is a trend and it's going to be a trend even 5 years down the line, but there are hundreds of protein companies जो आके खत्म हो गई and there are few जो बहुत आगे चले जा रही है. So if any science, anything that you pick, how can be uniquely different in not only product, but in terms of how do you communicate differently to the world. Health is a lot about more than the product, it's also about the communication to the world. So I believe that if you're building something which is more the trend, more the relevancy, then the communication becomes a very, very important part. That is what I would suggest. And the trends will keep changing. If you want to be nutraceutical से लेके हर चीज़ it will keep changing. You'll have to pick and choose क्या लेना है, कैसे लेना है. I also keep getting, but I believe that आप इंडिया से है, तो I am trying to build on something different in the world, something different concepts in the world. हम लोग आमला जैसे आज से अगर 20 साल पहले चले जाए तो क्रैनबेरी वॉज अ वाइल्ड बेरी थ्रोन इन द जंगल, गिर जाती थी. द अमेरिकन्स बिल्ड इट टू सुपर फूड, राइट. हमारे यहाँ आमला है, आमला सुपर फूड है. ऐसे हमारे यहाँ बेल है, सुपर फूड है. हमारे यहाँ जामुन है, सुपर फूड है. दे आर मल्टीपल सुपर फूड दैट वी हैव, बट वी हैव नॉट टेकन आवर सुपर फूड्स टू द वर्ल्ड. हमने बोलता है कि बेल का मुरब्बा तो कौन खाएगा, ये पुराने ज़माने का है, बट इट्स अ सुपर फूड. आमला का जूसेस इज़ अ सुपर फूड. कैन यू बिल्ड दोज इंडिया का, भारत के जो ट्रेंड्स एंड टेक इट टू द वर्ल्ड इज सम ऑफ द आइडियाज़ आई वुड से. हम लोग खाने के बाद अजवाइन और जीरे का गर्म पानी पीते हैं. रात को सोने से पहले हल्दी दूध में डाल के पीते हैं. सवेरे उठने के बाद हम आंवला और नींबू का जूस पीते हैं. ये सारे हमारे पुराने भारत संस्कार के जो ट्रेंड्स है, इसके ऊपर हम बात नहीं करते. जो फाइबर बाहर से आ रहा है, जो प्रोटीन बाहर से आ रहा है, हम दुनिया को लेके यहाँ लेके आते. कैन वी टेक इंडिया टू द वर्ल्ड? इफ़ यू कैन थिंक इन दैट वे, you will have a very large market. Unfortunately, we do not do it yet.
Thank you, sir. It answered a lot of my questions. Next question I had for Sanskar sir. So sir, regarding the marketing that we are recently having, and as you say, AI is also scary. So the thing is, how do you add that humanistic touch and value in your marketing? Like I have seen some how you are able to get those values and how human connects with the brand, but more of its emotion rather than the brand itself or the product itself. So how can someone who is beginning in the marketing field can add those values and emotions into the product and marketing?
Lovely question. I think it's all about creativity and relatability, right? I mean, in the end, there is some things that AI will possibly never be able to do, or possibly will, I don't know. But the thing is that, I mean, there are many ways to connect to a human, right? There is a human as a founder talking to a human or giving value to someone. There is content that is being made which is not entirely about the brand, but it is just storytelling that people like to watch. इसीलिए हमारे टाइम पे स्कूप वूप और वो सब बहुत चलते थे, filter coffee and all. Filter coffee था, right? Yeah, all of that would really work. So it's all about storytelling in the end. So I think if someone cracks the art of storytelling, then it is irreplaceable for any marketing agency. And then it's all about, I mean, it's all about studying humans, studying human psychology, and seeing how we can, you know, really hit any pain points or any triggers that people would have, so that, you know, it really connects with them. But apart from that, I think marketing is very simple. It's storytelling, or it's really good content. It's just distribution, right? So I mean, distribution will never, we will never be able to do distribution better than AI, but we will definitely really win in the first aspect of it. That is my take on it till now.
If I can add a point there, AI is being used very good, but it's being marketed to a person. All of us understand what is AI content, what is not. So play that balance well. Secondly, any product you have, fit it in the life story of a person in 24 hours. If that product fits there, you're able to tell a story. If it doesn't, then you're not appealing to emotion. For example, pickles. What do you remember about pickles? A grandmother sukhoing it or putting it in a, you know, porcelain container on the terrace to dry or for storage, right? It's an emotion that you're going to be able to connect to. So just ask yourself, is that emotion connecting to you? Does that product play a role in your day-to-day, once in a month? Was the consumption, was the story to be told?
Thank you, sir.
So in this, for example, just giving you an example, आपका जेन जी अचार कम खाता है, तो हमको एक ये कंसेप्ट डालना था कि काफ़ी बार जो लोग खाते भी वो ऐसे सोसाइटी में चले जाते हैं कि जो अचार खाता है टाइप का ये है, तो सेटिस्फाई द सोल नॉट द सोसाइटी. So that's a concept that we bought at Nilons through Backbenchers. कि we keep creating कि a boy and a girl are going for a date, वो क्रूज़ों ऑर्डर कर रही है, ये अपना टिफ़िन से पराठा और अचार निकाल के खा रहा है, right? So I want to be myself. So these are some of the relatable content that we are trying to create on अचार कि we want to satisfy the soul not the society. तो आप ह्यूमन एंगल को डालते रहेंगे तो चीज़ें बेटर रहेगी.
Good morning,
I
sir.
think-
Good morning.
Okay.
My
After
name
that
is
here.
Priya. My question to is for Sanskar sir. As a Gen Z, what is your mindset to join your family business, and what habits you have changed as a Gen Z businessman? Sorry.
I mean, there is no habits that I have changed, I would say. I think my habits got changed when I was 13 or 14. You know, those Germans are very strict. So, I mean, after I came back, Ulta, I think in India it's been much more comfortable lifestyle in a way where I'm still a Gen Z. I sleep at 3 or 2 o'clock. I wake up at 10 and then I am scared what will dad say. He's probably already in the office. So I'll just can't hear that. But apart from that, I think there is no certain mindset. I mean, I don't really know if you would ask me what is characteristics of a Gen Z, what is characteristics of a millennial, but I really liked getting so much exposure towards the world through online platforms. I mean, because as a footballer, maybe 6-7 years, except for the hours of practice, I could just be on my phone. So I really consumed a lot of value-added content, a lot of stuff that was my own type of MBA, I would say, for the next 7 years. And I think that exposure really helped me when I went out in the market. It really helped, and I think Gen Zs only need one more thing. I think we are extremely smart and we are extremely well off mentally. We think extremely diverse. We think extremely fast as well. Only thing is human relations, right? Because in the end, when one thing I had to learn when I came out as a business owner was how do you create human relations and how do you learn the art of communication as well, because you have to in the end communicate your idea in a way that it makes sense and in the way that your client or whoever you're talking to can actually manifest or actually visualize what you're trying to say. So the only thing I would say I had to add a bit more or double down on a bit more as a Gen Z would be human relations, and the only thing I had to as a footballer change was my aggression, because that one.
Thank you, sir.
I think the last question we'll take for the day, if that's okay. And ma'am here.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is to you. So in the Indian context, the projection for pickles are basically nani ke haath ka, dadi ke haath ka, mummy ke haath ka. So who was the biggest competitor for you? Another pickle making company, or the pickle which was sitting in the Indian consumer's kitchen?
See, you cannot change a belief system so easily. जिसने घर का खाना है उसने घर का ही खाना है, राइट? तो आप उसको कंपटीशन मान के चल रहे हैं तो वही गलत है, बिकॉज दे विल नॉट चेंज बिकॉज दे वांट टू ईट घर का. सो कंपटीशन वही है जो आज के डेट में जो अवेलेबल मार्केट है, बट ऑल्सो यू नीड टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर टुमारो. सो आई बिलीव एंड आई कीप रिपीटिंग दैट वन मोर जनरेशन, 20 साल 10,000 करोड़ का अचार आज घर पे बनता है और मार्केट का करंट मार्केट साइज ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर ओनली 1500 करोड़ है. सो 6 गुना ज़्यादा अभी भी घर पे बन रहा है, राइट? और अचार मसाला साल का 500 करोड़ का बिकता है. मतलब जो घर पे अचार बनाते हैं वो अचार मसाला 500 करोड़ का बिकता है और अचार अपने आप में 1500 करोड़ का बिकता है. सो दैट्स द मार्केट साइज नाउ. बट 20 साल बाद वी बिलीव दैट जनरेशन विल नॉट बेक पिकल एट होम. दैट इज़ ऑल गोना कम हियर. So our logic and reason when we went and launched 17 different brands in India, we launched Asal Marathi for Maharashtra, Delhi Darbar, Delhi Rangilo Rajasthan, Garvi Gujarat, Uttam Pradesh, Johar Jharkhand, Shere Punjab. Multiple, one brand for every state. The logic for that was जिस दिन ये जनरेशन घर का खा के छोड़ेगी और यहाँ आएगी तो द मोमेंट अ पर्सन इज़ इन बिहार और बोलता है अपन बिहार, तो somehow he'll relate with the brand itself कि मेरे लिए बना हुआ है. सो वो ब्रांडिंग का ही लॉजिक रीज़न 15 साल आगे सोच के आज हमने लॉन्च किया था कि वंस दैट जनरेशन स्टॉप्स मेकिंग पिकल एट होम एंड दे कम हियर, द ब्रांड पर्सोना इटसेल्फ शुड से दैट इट इज़ फॉर मी. सो दिस इज़ घर का स्वाद है, स्पेसिफिकली मेड फॉर महाराष्ट्रियन टेस्ट है. सो यू हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर टुमारो, बट यू हैव टू टेक फ्रॉम व्हाट करंटली इज अवेलेबल. That's how it is.
Thank you. One more last question from my side. So we are now across on the different tables. So that side it's industry, this side it's academia. Where do you see, is there a gap between how, or what should we do rather as management educators, just to prep these students up to the demands of the industry?
I agree there is a significant difference, and hence having significant internship projects available for your team would be, some of the colleges do summer and winter both internships for the student, getting them placed in the right environment where internships are done well, pushing them to do some projects also on the ground, jao survey karke aao, real market survey karke aao, because that's the real world that they will learn significantly more things. So I believe that there are three ways we learn as humans or grow as humans is analytical skill, communication skill, and interpersonal skills. Classroom only largely teaches analytical skills. It's the world outside or the playground where you play a team sports where you also learn the interpersonal skills and the communication skills, or when you actually go into the market, it's where you learn the communication skills and the interpersonal skills. So having those more exposures will help your students be more prepared for the world, so when they reach actually the corporate world, they will be significantly more exposed to that.
Wow, what an hour spent, close to about 2 hours, and it still felt it ended up too early. So candid, so real, so unfiltered. This is not me proposing the formal vote of thanks, but I would like to snatch this opportunity. So you very well brought the Indian knowledge system in the room, and I could instantly reflect on a shloka, which reads like this: Udmen hi siddhanti karyani na manoratheya, na hi suptasya sihasya pravishanti mukhe mrigaha. Work is what makes things happen. Mere wishes do not. Even a lion cannot expect a prey to walk into its mouth while it is asleep. Therefore, a family business might look fancy, might look like an inherited wealth, but it is also an inherited responsibility to protect what was built, improve and excel in what was given and promised, and leave something strong for the next generation. And while Mr. Sanskar cleanly demonstrated that he is aptly named Sanskar, I could pen down 2 Hindi lines for him, which are, बीज में वृक्ष दिखाई नहीं देता, बीज में वृक्ष दिखाई नहीं देता, पर वृक्ष की संभावना बीज में ही होती है. With that, I would request Dr. Abhijit Shivne to come forward and propose the formal vote of thanks.
Good afternoon. On the behalf of IMDR, I would like to thank Deepak sir and Sanskar for taking out time from their busy schedule and giving us a lot of insights and demonstration of how to behave. Right? What I would like to say that what is the most biggest takeaway from this for all of you, those who are Gen Z or millennials, is that how to have a relationship between father and son. Right? So that is the best example we can have. Like this kind of examples are not there in the media because media is negative. Right? So from this you can take for yourself that how to behave with your father, which Sanskar has shown with his. He has whatever name, like already Nishita madam said that the name he has proved through his behavior here. So that is the best thing which I like. And in this series of my story and stories of Samaj, this is the first time that father-son duo has come to IMDR. Like. So that is a historical event for us. And as usual, Nikhil sir, right, he is our own, right, so we ask him every time, and he has exhibited how he can interview, right, he can become a podcaster, right. So I thank him and best of luck. Thank you.